Hello, 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 SheEO District. It is your girl, Kellye Bowens, the founder of the SheEO District, as well as the CEO of Visionology Event Management. Thank you all so much for joining us for our SheEO live broadcast on tonight. Again, we have a special treat for you. Thank you all for tuning in with us for the past couple of days. I know we've been away for a while, but we are back with our 8:30 broadcast, and we have a special guest again on tonight. So go ahead, you all know the drill. Take about 30 seconds and go ahead and share this broadcast. Let's go ahead and share this broadcast with anyone that we know who we want to honor or make aware. We have a special guest on tonight, Miss Dawn McClain, here to talk about her journey. I know we are in the month of breast cancer, but we want to also bring awareness to our sisters who are in the fight for different types of, and we do want to call it the C word. I don't want to call it, she's an overcomer. She's healed from it. And we want to just say she's an overcomer. She's victorious. But anyone that you know who is going through the fight right now or has overcome, the fight of this vicious disease, go ahead and share this broadcast with them. We want to free some people up tonight. Miss Dawn is healthy and whole now. We are so thankful that she has come through and she's on the other end of it, but she has so graciously agreed to come and share her story. So we thank Miss Dawn McClain for being with us. But I'm going to take about 30 seconds to share this broadcast, and I'm going to encourage you to do the same. We are almost to the weekend, and I'm glad about it. It's been a long week. A long week. All right. All right, so we've got this shared out. So we're going to go ahead and hop right into it. I know we are a few minutes late, so thank you all for your patience. So again, we have Miss Dawn McClain here to share her story. So it's not often that I'm getting ready to read her bio, and then we'll come back and she'll be here with us. So it's not often that a person fully embodies two seemingly opposing characteristics, but that is exactly who Dawn McClain is. She is both a lover and a fighter. It's exactly those two traits that describe her zest for life and her triumph to keep on living it. A 1998 graduate of Springfield High School, it is the love that drives Dawn. Her love for her children is shown in her longtime career supporting students with special needs in the Robertson County School District, a passion that she has nurtured for more than a decade. Her love for food is evident, not just in the numerous Facebook pictures of the meals she prepares, but in her dedication as a healthcare nutritionist and her aspiration to become a certified dietary manager at the Waters of Springfield. And perhaps most importantly, her love for her family is clear. She is a dedicated partner to Josh and mom to Asia, and I'm hoping I'm saying this name, Amijah. Not to meet a stranger, Dawn is a fiercely loyal friend and a committed family member. She's one you'd want on your side. When life dealt Dawn the devastating news that she'd been diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer, her fighting spirit went into overdrive. Since her diagnosis, she stayed positive, using love as her guiding light and her weapon against the disease. But this isn't the first time Dawn has had to fight. In fact, she battles lupus every day, and that illness does not have her down. When cancer is behind her, she dreams of supporting and inspiring others on similar journeys. Her methods are working. Her lupus is in check, and not only as her tumor significantly shrank in size, Dawn is thriving. She's living and loving her life and preparing for her next adventure, launching a business centered around toys and crafts. So, ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome, please help me welcome the Miss Dawn McClain to our SheEO live broadcast. Thank you so much, Dawn, for joining us. And so just a precursor, Dawn is literally from my hometown. Like I grew up with Dawn. So she knows all the good, bad, and ugly, and where God has brought me from. So thank you, Dawn, so much for joining me and joining us to share your story on tonight. Now, I know, I say all the time, I love reading bios, but I love to ask of our guests, verbally express to me and to our audience who Dawn McClain is.
Well, I'm a lover. I love people. I love to make people laugh. Um, I'm caring. I have that sensitive side, but more or less, I try to be supportive and positive in everything. That's just me.
Yes, yes. So we're gonna hop right into it. I know we have a little, we're kind of short on time, but we're just gonna hop right into your story. So let's just kind of dial it all back, Dawn. I know that sometimes when we experience a sickness or disease, it really takes us into a reflective space as far as if we, when we are dealt bad news, specifically as it relates to our health. Do you kind of go into that reflective mode, like what have I been doing, and if I get through or when I get through this, I'm going to be more intentional about what I'm doing. But first, I just want to dial it all back. So what started, and this is Health Week in the SheEO district, so we want to make sure that we can listen to our body as far as the signs that led you even to your initial doctor's appointment to say, hey, something's not quite right here.
Well, basically, it started. I had started losing weight, but at that point, it was probably about a summer ago. And I started losing weight, but I was walking more. Cutting back on a lot of things,
Mm-hmm.
and it was like right when COVID during the summer. Our job, they was testing us every 2 weeks. And so I started having like sinus drainage. And I was like, it might have been that because we was getting tested twice a week. And so that went on. And then I would say around this time, October of last year,
Mm-hmm.
I started getting a cough, which is nothing strange to me because like with sinus drainage, I usually get a cough, with my lupus. It's nothing different. And so, but it just lasted, you know, October turned into November, and I was like, okay, this cough is, and then it turned into December, and I started getting shortness of breath.
Mm.
But I was still working my two jobs, still pushing. And so my boyfriend, he was like, you need to go to the doctor. And I was like, I will. You know how some people are. It's like, when I get time, I'll go.
Right.
And so, we was talking. I said, well, I'm gonna call and make the appointment. So I made the appointment, and I got in probably like the beginning of January. And so when I got in, she was like, well, we're gonna do a quick little test, to check my oxygen rate. So she was like, okay. And then from there, she was like, well, I'm gonna send you over to get an X-ray. I was like, okay. I went to go do the X-ray, and the woman was like, she was like, oh. And I was like, what? She was like, your whole left lung is full of fluid. I had probably that much of my lung that was clear on my left side. I was like, okay. And so the next morning I get a phone call, after I done Googled everything. And I was like,
Right. Dr.
you
Google.
know, I'm like, ooh, is there going to be a pill I can take to where, you know, it'll dry all this fluid up? And so she was like, no, you need to go on over to the hospital. We got to get it drained. And I was like, for real? And she was like, yes. She said, well, we're going to do a CT scan, to figure out what's going on. So, my mom took me out there. My daughter came with me. And so they, hooked me up to everything. They was like, okay, we're getting ready to take you back to do to drain the fluids. I was like,
Mhm.
okay. And before that, they did the CT scan. And then they took me back to drain the fluid. So they drained almost 2 liters of fluid just off that one side alone.
Wow. 2 liters.
2 liters.
Wow.
And So when I went back and did my CT scan, and everything was fine. So the doctor come in, I just looked at her face. You can always tell,
Yeah.
if you're gonna get good news or bad news. So, she's like, well, I got two things I need to tell you. She said, we looked at your lung, we drained the fluid. She said, but we see a tumor. She said, it looks like you have lung cancer. And I'm like, no, for real? And she was like, yeah. My daughter, she just starts crying. I'm in shock because I'm like, I've never smoked a day in my life.
Wow.
And so from there, it was just like, I had the doctor crying, the nurses was, I was like, it was a shock. So, I made the phone call, called my mama, called my sister, called my boyfriend. He was just like, I was calling everybody. They was like, what are you talking about? I was like, yeah. So, but that put me in the mode to, okay, it's go mode now because,
Yeah.
you don't know. And you just got to be strong.
Yeah.
My daughter, she's 22. I'm just like, she was like, Mama, no, 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 no. I'm like, well, we just got to go from here to here to here. They did the biopsy. I kind of stressed. I was like, well, maybe it's something related to my lupus. Because, they did say scar tissue can build up
Mm-hmm.
and it looks like, a mass. And, I did the biopsy and come to find out that's what it was.
Wow.
And so, the plan was, to do the chemo, to which I did, and do the immunotherapy, which is what I'm doing now with the Keytruda to help build my immune system
Okay.
to help fight it that way,
Yeah.
which is working. And so it's just like from the beginning, it's been a lot,
Yeah.
but I've always told people that, going into it, you have your days where you just, you're down and out,
Mm-hmm.
but you try not to wear, the best thing is not to stress it because stress just makes it worse.
Yes.
And I just try to remain positive, have positive people around you.
Yeah.
If you just gotta laugh about it, just laugh about it.
Yeah.
My boyfriend's in the background being silly. He knows I'm on live. So it's just, and like during the time when I did start my chemo, my brother passed unexpectedly.
Mm-hmm.
The same week that I went in to do the chemo, he had passed away that Monday. I started chemo that week. So it was like that was another layer
Right. Right.
on top of it, and then dealing with my sister, with her and her ALS. So it's just like it was so much. And then, our mom is 83. And that's a lot. Try not to stress her out. Just all in all, be strong and be positive, and that's basically how I've been doing it.
Yeah. And it sounds like, your fight was more mental than it was physical, is what
Yeah.
I'm hearing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had when I had that first treatment and when those side effects kicked in, I was like, what did I do to myself?
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm so used to going, it actually made me sit down.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just like, oh my God, I cried for like an hour. Like, why did I do this to myself? Why, that
Yeah.
I done something different, But after that, I kind of got used to it.
Right.
Okay, do this, do that. I just keep pushing.
Now, were they able to share with you like what possibly could have caused, the lung cancer, being that you're not a smoker?
He said it could be genetics. It's just
Hmm.
they did a genetic test, and he said he didn't see anything that would make it, to be where, down the line. Because the only
Mhm.
person that was in my family that has had lung cancer was my mom's sister, but she
Okay.
was a heavy smoker.
Okay.
But other than that, it's still kind of a mystery.
Wow.
But
Wow.
he did say, like my lung doctor, he was like, it's now a lot of women are being diagnosed with lung cancer. They have never smoked a day in their life.
Hmm.
So it's just one of those things. I guess I'm just
Right.
one of those medical mysteries, I guess.
Yeah. So talk about your journey through, just from your mental state, because I can only imagine like what your first thought was when you hear the word, you have cancer. You know what I mean? That's one of the things like nobody wants to hear. And so you don't know how you're going to feel until and hopefully nobody viewing this, ever hears this. But what is like your initial thought when you hear the doctor like utter those words?
It was more or less like, you got to be playing me, And then it went to, what is my life expectancy? And he even told
Mm.
me, don't get online and Google anything, But you know how we do. We'll
Yeah, okay,
try to
listen.
Google around it,
Listen, okay.
And he was like, because what happened 10 years ago is totally different for what's
Right,
going on now.
right, right.
And so it was a lot of things. I'm like, why me? That was the first thing, like, why me? My daughter, my family. I'm like, because I've lost two friends in the process,
Mm-hmm.
even before, so I'm just like, oh my God, is it, but look,
I
whew.
know, right?
So it's just like, at 40, 42, I'm like, I know I got more life to live. So
Yes,
that was
yes,
kind of my, for me to push, stay positive and just keep going.
yeah, yeah. So, going through chemo, we just, stated that it was, more of a mental thing. So what are some of those things that you did to keep yourself encouraged? Like, what are some of the thoughts that you had just to keep your mind off of what you were going through at the time? Because again, as you stated, no, not only were you going through chemo, you were grieving the loss of your brother, and we grieve the news of illness for our loved ones, right? So
Yeah.
what are some of the things that you did to keep yourself positive during this time?
Just basically, the love for my family, they need me and I need them.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then, like before my brother had passed, I had called and told him, what was going on. And, he was like, you got this and, everything. And so, I had heard from other people, he was like, well, she's going to beat this. And, and that being kind of the biggest inspiration,
Yeah,
knowing that I'm doing it for him,
yes, yes, yeah,
and I'm doing it for everybody else, but, mainly for him.
yeah,
Ooh.
yeah. It's okay. Look, it's
I'm a
okay.
sensitive thing. I can't
It's
help it.
okay. It's okay.
Look, I had to be prepared.
It is okay. Take your time.
But, more or less, just family and the people that I love, I wouldn't, I know they wouldn't want to lose me. And I want to show them, what it is to be strong.
Yeah, yeah. Look, that's why your stubbornness kicking in, Dawn. You too stubborn to go anywhere, as the old folks say.
I know, I got my stubbornness. Yes, yes. That's what they say. My favorite word is, okay, I will.
so, so you've gone through and so you're in. I'm assuming, are you in what's called remission now, or where are you?
Well, right now I'm just doing the immunotherapy. I'm
Okay.
still in the process of shrinking it
Okay.
because where my tumor is sitting in my pleural space, which is like that space, like when you breathe in,
Mm-hmm.
it's just sitting right there. It's like, like a little pocket.
Mm-hmm.
And so He said later on down the line, possibly I could have surgery to get it removed. But his best bet right now is just to continue to shrink it.
Okay.
Because when I started, it was like a 7.5 centimeters, and now I'm down to like 3.5.
That's pretty. That's a nice size.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
it shrunk significantly.
Okay. So how do you feel now mentally? Like you've overcome, like you have overcome something that some haven't been able to overcome, unfortunately. So how do you feel? How do you feel now? How do you feel on today?
I feel good. To be
Yeah.
honest with you, I wake up some mornings, I'll be like, oh, I got this beat.
Yeah.
I can do this. Just keep
Yeah.
pushing. That's just been my mind frame. Just keep
Yeah.
pushing.
Yeah. So we're not here to dwell on that. We always like to talk about the positive, and we like to talk about the things that make you smile. So going back to your bio, right? So you have a love for it says here in your bio that you have a passion for nutrition.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that. So we know you post food. Look, the food you be posting.
I'm a country girl, so you already know.
So talk about your love for food and the culinary arts and nutrition. Let's talk about something more upbeat and something that you're passionate about. So tell us a little bit about that. Where did that come from?
But it was almost, I used to watch my mama cook. So it's
Mhm.
just like, it was just something that just, I was like, well, I'm gonna learn how to cook this or learn how to do this. It's just I just like to eat. I just put it like that. So, I might see something online and I'm like, ooh, I can change it this way or flip
Yeah,
it that way. And I just cook. You
yeah,
know, I like I just like to make people happy.
yeah.
Sometimes food is some
Food does
people's
it,
love
okay?
language. I
Can't
just
go
like to
wrong with
eat,
some food, okay? Yes, absolutely, absolutely. So is that something that you want to pursue past your career right now? Like where would you like to, if you could, where would you like to take that love and that passion for nutrition and the culinary arts?
Well, I would like, people that was like, oh, you should open up a restaurant. I'm just like, when it comes to people and food, you be like, but it's more or less if I'm just cooking for my family, I'm fine with that. My nephew, he comes into town and we have dinners and I'm the one cooking. So it's just like if I'm just cooking for the people that I love, I'm
Yeah,
fine. I don't
I
necessarily
like
have
that.
to have a restaurant as long as I'm cooking for the people I love.
Right, right. So let's switch gears, and this is something new to me that you have a love and a passion for toys and crafts.
Yeah, I
So
love the
tell us
craft.
about that. You love crafting.
I love craft. I love like putting little stuff together and like everything in this house I put together. So it's just like it relaxes me.
Yes,
Even to
yeah.
like putting a shelf together or anything. It's relaxing to me.
I saw a post where, what did you fix? Was it your washer or dryer or your stove or something?
It was my stove,
I
yeah.
was like, who watches a YouTube video and fix a stove?
That's me.
Dawn
I'm one of them
McClain.
ones. I am one of them ones. I'm not gonna ask nobody to, hey, can you do this? I'm gonna do it myself. Because my mama's
You
always
know
been
he
like
fixes
that.
stoves.
My mama has always been like that. Just,
Really?
yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. So that was that was interesting. I was like, okay, Don, look, just make
Yeah.
it tough for all the other women around here. Like now they're gonna be looking at us. Great, look, can't you watch YouTube fix that stove? Look,
Right. Put it together. Go ahead.
right,
I've
exactly.
always, and like people, like I do puzzles. I love a good jigsaw puzzle. And
Mm-hmm.
I do 1,000 pieces. It was like, it relaxes my mind because that's
Yeah.
the only thing that you're focused on
At that time, yeah.
at that
Yeah.
time. So it's relaxing to me. Just putting something together is relaxing to me.
Okay, so I will apply the same question. So is that something that you would look to further as far as your crafting, like something like what's next after you've completely closed the book on what you've overcome, like what's next for Dawn?
Like I would love to open up a store, a business. I like toys. I've always
Mhm.
been that type. I'm always, in Springfield we don't have much.
Mhm.
And so it would be nice to open up something to where people can bring their kids to play or, because all we have is Walmart,
Yeah.
you know. So just a variety of something different,
Yeah. Yeah.
something totally different.
And has going through, this season in your life given you like a new zeal for life and to really go after, things that you're passionate about? Because, people don't think about it until they're going through, but our life is very fragile.
Yeah.
We your the trajectory of your life can change, in a second. And then, what have you done? And not saying you, I'm just saying, like, you just go into reflective mode, like, have I really been fulfilling what I'm sit here to do, aka purpose? Or am I
Yeah.
doing what I'm passionate about? Am I doing what I'm gifted to do? Right.
Yeah.
So have you had those thoughts, and has that just kind of given you a new outlook on life? And because if you overcome this, you look fear and death right in the face, there's nothing you can't overcome.
Yeah.
Like,
I,
you're in
I,
that category. Like, it's no excuse for you. Fear should be, null and void, like non-existent for you, right? Because you
yeah.
stared all that right in the face and kicked this behind and kept it moving, right?
Yeah. I do have those thoughts of what is my purpose, and I do think, with going through this, it shows me how strong I'm truly,
Yeah.
I truly
Yeah.
am. And so I still have those days like, okay, what is my purpose? What am I here for? What am I here to do?
Yeah.
And like I say, I just try to have that positive mind frame.
Yeah. Look. Well, look, one of our good sisters, Erica, she done gave you a whole business like Dawn's Toyland. So there you go. There you have it. There you go. You got a whole business. Look. Erica is part of our SheEO. So look, what up? You can't put nothing out there. Look, they gonna help you right along. Look, you said
Okay,
what? You want
Don's
to do what? Okay,
Toyland.
here you go. I got your name for you. What's next? But yeah, so whatever it is that you're passionate about, like, don't let that go. Like, hang on to that.
Yeah.
Like,
So
just
that's all
just
I've been
like God
talking about.
has resources and He has healing power, He has power to manifest, what He has placed in our hearts. So even if it's something outlandish and far fetched, that's great and that's better, right?
Yeah.
Because we got to tap into that power to help manifest that and make it into a reality. So again, like, you stared like the biggest thing people fear. You stared it right in the face, and you're sitting here talking to me today. So you shouldn't let anything or nothing stop you from what it is that you're wanting to do.
Yeah.
And know that you have the support, and you're gifted, and you have the favor and the grace, to do it. Because obviously you're still here for a reason. You're still here for a reason. Right? You're still living out your testimony. Like, your
Yeah.
testimony is overcoming, your sickness, but your testimony is in what comes after that.
Yeah.
Your second chance at life. Like, what are you doing, with that? And so I'll definitely just whatever it is, like, really dig down deep and say, what is it that you would have me to do?
Yeah.
And then move forward with that. Like, it's nothing that you can't do. You've done one of the hardest things that a human, you've overcome one of the hardest things that a human could face in life. Right? So what the enemy meant as a death sentence, God said no. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? God said no. No, I still got stuff for her to do.
Yeah.
Right. So so what do you do for fun? What do you do for fun? And I know you said Walmart, but what else do you do for fun? What puts a smile on your face?
Well, my boyfriend, he makes me happy. We go out and do little things. I love to shop.
Yeah.
Now, I got clothes in that closet, and I love to go out. I
Yeah.
got clothes in that closet that I need to put to use. I said I'm trying to be on the outside.
Okay. You outside, go outside.
Yes, outside.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah,
And that brings me to another question. So how did you deal with, look, you had a lot going on at the time. You had a lot going on, okay? Because not only were you dealing with all that, you were in a whole pandemic,
yeah.
fighting this thing off and not being able to move around freely. And then when you do, I'm sure you had to be extra careful.
Oh yeah, man, I masked up.
Yeah,
Even to my mama, where your mask at? I'm
yeah,
like, Mama, it's right here.
yeah,
Even if I'm in the car, I still got the mask on my face.
yeah.
So it's at first I was like, "Who these masks is getting on my nerves?" But I'm so used to them now.
Right, right.
It's just like routine. As soon as I walk out the door, I got my
Yeah.
mask, and my hand sanitizer.
Hand sanitizer. First line of defense.
Right,
That's like your cell phone. Your cell phone, your mask, and your hand sanitizer. Don't
right,
leave home without it, right?
right.
So yeah, so all the things that we talked about that you were going through, now we dump pandemic. We didn't even talk about that, and then dumping the pandemic.
Yeah.
On top of that, talk about mentally could be in a mental disarray at that point. Like, my goodness.
Well, I'm not gonna say that I was like it didn't stress me because I work in the healthcare, with
Mhm.
the residents at the nursing home. So it was more or less I just had to be safe.
Yeah.
You know,
Yes.
just make sure you wash your hands and make sure I kept my mask on.
Mhm.
And I went and got vaccinated. I was scared at first with that because I didn't know if my body was going to react to it because
Right.
of my lupus.
Right.
But no more than a sore arm, and that was it.
That's good. Yeah.
I pushed for my family to get vaccinated, so they're finally vaccinated now.
Okay.
So so we're in a fully vaccinated house, and then more or less with that, I wanted to protect my sister, my mom,
Mhm.
just everybody around me.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So are you I know you said that, perhaps someday that you would help, others by sharing your story. Is that something that, on down the line that you would possibly look to pursue, is being an advocate for now? What's the month? I apologize for not knowing. I know that lung cancer does have its month that its awareness brought to lung cancer. I don't know particularly what
It's
month that is.
November.
November. Okay, so
Yeah,
next month is okay.
yeah.
So next month. So is that something that perhaps you would pursue on down the line? Is to bringing awareness to lung disease, lung cancer. I know it's all about the breast cancer in October, but we hear once it's October is such a big deal for breast cancer. It's
Yeah,
like it kind of pushes down,
everything else.
the
Yeah,
lung cancer awareness, coming up, following right behind it. So is that something
yeah.
that, maybe in the future that you want to pursue?
I would like to, either if it's not, going out the awareness, even just being support, because a
Yeah.
lot of people need support.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
just a kind word or anything.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
if it's support, hey, I'm there for it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I appreciate you being on here with us tonight, Dawn, sharing your story. You look amazing. It's
Thank
so
you.
so happy to we were just praying for you throughout this process and still are.
Thank
And
you.
just happy to see that you are in such good spirits and you did not let this, take you out from a mental standpoint. You are still standing strong, even in dealing with all the other exterior factors that was going on, sickness and death in your family, going through a pandemic. And again, we didn't talk about this much, but you do have lupus, in
Yeah.
addition to that. So again, we just honor you and we are thankful for you. Thank for being an inspiration to
Thank
us, to not
you.
let life knock us out, knock us that we get knocked down, right? But we don't
Yeah.
stay there, right? You didn't
Right.
let it knock you out. And so thank you for having the courage, the tenacity to be here with me on today, sharing your story. And I just hope this blesses someone that's listening or that has shared this broadcast with someone, just to keep going. You know,
Yeah.
the fight
I'm
is
about
the
the
fight. The real fight is
transparency.
here.
So,
Yeah, the real fight
I
is
try to
here.
be as transparent as
Yeah,
possible because you
yeah.
never know. That might be somebody's inspiration to keep pushing.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. We go through things. We hear it all the time that it's a lot of times it's not for us, but it's for someone else, for us
Somebody
to
else,
be a
yeah.
blessing, and be a testimony and a help to someone else. But I thank you so much for joining us here on tonight. Welcome back to our platform. Anytime, maybe on down the line when you're ready to start that toilet, Dawn's
Have that
Toyland.
mogul, be that
We'll have you
mogul
on
of
here
Don's
during business week.
Toyland.
Right. Exactly. We'll have you on here during business week. Talk about Don's Toyland that you're opening up here in Springfield, Tennessee.
Right.
So again, whatever, start to think about those things. Whatever God has put on the inside of you, like what would He have you to do on the other side of this? Because there's a lot of favor and grace that's waiting for you on the other side of what you're going through. But we love you, Don, and thank you so much for joining us. I want to thank everybody for tuning in on tonight. We are done with our lives for this week, but we have some special guests coming up for you on next week during our business week. And I hope everyone has a fantastic weekend. Don't forget, our tickets go on sale tomorrow for our SheEO conference. So you'll be able to go to SheEOconference.com and get your early bird tickets as well as your vendor registrations for our SheEO Marketplace Expo on that Saturday. But all the details will be available on our website. So be sure to tune in to that on tomorrow, and you have a great rest of the evening.